Good evening, brothers and sisters, Chief Reverend. And before we start our event tonight, let us pay respect to the Sangha. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dhammaya. Namo Sanghaya. Chief Reverend, before we start, can we ask for refuge and sorry, Chief Reverend. 在我们开始之前，我们想向长老请求参皈依和无解。
Okay, let us observe the Tisarana Panchasila. Either we can recite together, or if you not me, repeat after me. Which one prepare? Recite together or repeat after me?
I think we would repeat after Chief Reverend.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami.
Anatipata Viramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Anatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Adhinadana Viramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Adhinadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Kami Sumicchācara Viramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Kamesu Micchācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Savada Viramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Dang Samadhiyami.
Suramiraya Majjapama Dattana Viramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Suramiraya Majjapama Dattana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Imani Pancha Sikkhapadani 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 Samadhiyami.
Saddhin silan Tisayan saddhin sattva kamadi ampadite Silena bhoga sampada Silena nibbutang yanti Silena nibbutang yanti Tasma silang visodhya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Before we start to invite to give us Dhamma sharing tonight, please allow me to give brothers and sisters a brief introduction to Chief Reverend. The full name for Chief Reverend is Ven.B.Sri Saranankara Nayaka Mahatero. Chief Reverend was born in 1953 in Sri Lanka, obtained his monastic life at the age of 12, and eventually ordained the bhikkhus at the age of 22. After obtaining diploma in Buddhist philosophy, Chief Reverend decided to come to Malaysia at the age of 30, which is in the year of 1984. Eventually, throughout the years, Chief Reverend founded many charitable organizations, and he was appointed as the Chief High Priest of Malaysia. Chief High Priest Judiciary of Malaysia. 我们开始之前，就大概简略的介绍一下大长老。大长老是在1953年在斯里兰卡出世，在12岁的时候出家，在22岁的时候拿到比丘戒。那在1976年，师父拿到了佛教理论哲学 佛教哲学的学位过后，就在1984年来到马来西亚。那经过这些年，长老就是有成立了很多的社团，还有一些道场。那在2007年，大长老被这个斯里兰卡的僧团命名为就是提拔为这个马来西亚的首座长老。那在我们，这就是大概大长老的一个简介。那接下去我们会邀请长老给我们的开示。After the introduction of Chief Reverend, we would like to invite Chief Reverend to give us some word of wise at the night. And I would like to ask for permission from Chief Reverend to provide Mandarin to the brothers and sisters with my limited effort.
Translated by me or you?
Translated by me.
Okay. How the translation, is it going to be few sentences after that, or which one you prefer?
I think a few sentences and I'll pick up.
I thought you got all the thing can store in here. Brothers and sisters, really wonderful to see all of you this particular evening. And I have to apologize beginning. I supposed to come, I think, last week, because that day happened few years. In fact, not accidentally, long time they planned it for the International Bhikkhuni High Donation in Bodh Gaya. Coincidence happened to be the same day, Anyway, I highly apologize each and every one of you to postpone another day. Anyway, we are able to make it today, and nice to see all of you in this evening. In fact, long time we have discussed, we want to visit the place, we want to come over here, and we become a reality. I'm so happy to see all of our wonderful people, our practitioners in this center.
长老表示说，他感到很开心，看到大家，看到大家的出席。虽然排的时候，我们可能就是原本这个讲座会是在2个星期之前的，但是有一些安排上的一些冲突这样子，所以就刚好延迟到今天。那这个因缘也成熟了，很开心看到大家在这里。
This is the place quite unique. It's a very unique place. Very few Buddhist centers have in the 3 schools under one roof. One is Cochin Buddhist Society, which is very often I used to go there many years. There's another 2 or more 3 places in Sarawak as well. There's another place you allocate for the 3 schools to practice together. See how wonderful it is. The important thing, teaching of the Buddha, very clear. Even though divide into the 3 schools, we coexisting very closely, understanding one another. This is unique, the situation and unique country in this Malaysia. We able to see it, any major function, Theravada monks, the devotees, and the Mahayana, and also the Vajrayana. We are most of the function, even in especially for the Vilaya side as well as for the all over the Malaysia, we can see it. Sangha members are together, and we able to, get the the teaching from the each and every respectable school teaching. When there's, as I just mentioned earlier when I discussion, the uniqueness is our core value and the fundamental teaching, the Buddha, based on the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path. From their philosophical side, actually the same thing. It may be additional little cultural as well as for the rituals may be there. The philosophy is basic philosophy is almost the same thing. Then beside that, today, seeing the things, I thought, why not we talk about the nature in mind, in our own mind. I think it's relevant for each and every tradition, each and every school. They highly appreciated developing our inner mental strength.
长老就讲说，这个是一个很特殊的一个地方，很少会看到三大传承在同一个建筑里面。那马来西亚他见过可能就有几个地方，包括这边古晋居士林，还有一些其他的道场。长老没有说明是哪一家，但是就是说很少见会有三大传承在同一个地方。那长老说，佛陀的教法虽然分成了三大传承，但是那个基础的佛法，那个核心的那个佛法的核心是一样的。虽然在三大传承可能会有一些文化上的一些稍微会有一些变化，但是核心还是一样的。那今天就刚好这里讲的核心就是四圣谛还有八正道。那刚好就是配合今天的这个活动，长老就想说，就是今天我们就是往内心的，OK 是，OK 今天的话题会缠绕在本心还有内心的力量这一方面会去探讨。
How long the period? Okay. In the teaching of the Buddha, in the Pali Tensas, the very wonderful statement, Chandanan chapalan chittang durakkan dunnivaryam ujum karoti medhavi usukaro tejana. This Pali Tensas, Buddha mentioned very much empathize where each and every school, the Mahayana school, Theravada school, or Vajrayana school, so much space, actually it's Buddha's teaching itself, given so much priority for the developing each and every one of our own mind, to look at the nature and the mind. Always we can see it, all sort of thought appearing and disappearing. In Abhidhamma Pitaka, we told Chitta and Chaitasika. Chitta means mind, Chaitasika means the thought. If there's no Chitta, there's no Chaitasika. Interrelated it is very strongly. When we reflect in our own self, nature is our own mind, thoughts keep on coming and disappearing, coming and disappearing. if you closely watch your own self, how are you going to watch your own self? There's another important things for us to realize. How are we going to watch our own mind? We can watch other physical part, am I right? All the organ we can watch. Either you can watch, or if you not means the specialties, medical teams or the surgeon or others, they can see it, all the organs. So far, can anyone see where the mind and can see the mind? No, we're not able to see the mind. Unless you practice yourself, then you're able to see your own mind. That's a nature in our mind.
每个传承的核心里面，我们都常常会提到说，我们要回到观察我们的内心。那我们的内心在阿毗达摩里面，我们内心阿毗达摩里面就有提起说，我们的内心是一直在动的。那怎样在动？那就是说我们的想法、我们的念头一直在出来，然后又灭去，一直在生灭生灭。那这个生灭，当它放在我们的身上的时候，它的本质就是说，那个念头是一直在又升起，然后又灭去，升起又灭去。那就是很长时候在生活中，往往我们可以就是感觉到我们的各种器官，我们的感官一直在有变化。那但是我们很少会去看我们的内心。那要怎样子看我们内心的话，就是要回到这个修行，我们日常的这个修行。
Just now they mentioned the Pali tensa, Chandanam Chapalam Chitta, Durakkandu Nivarya. See the nature in the mind, our own mind, our own self is not controllable, the nature in the mind. We can run everywhere. There's a nature in every one of our own mind. It's a running around, very wild ways doing things. Such a mind, how to get under our own control, rather than mind to run as their own wish, as their own way. We had to look into that. It's when we look into for a moment, it's our own mind. The nature, all sort of thought come, is sometimes present, sometimes unpleasant, sometimes negative, positive, kusal, akusal. Nature is such a way. When such a simple things, how when we anger arising our own self, some of you find such a long period to go back to the peacefulness. Some of them will make it a little bit either faster to calm yourself. But if you really deep into look into that, why it's not common to everyone? If you have a little anger, unhappiness, unsatisfaction in your own mind, either today is a modern word used in the stress, that means from there we know what's the cause of stress, unhappiness, unsatisfaction in your own mind. Or if you're not able to go your own way, then it'll appear the anger, the hatred, delusion, all those defilements appearing each and every one of our own mind as well. Then how we managing that part? Of course, people mention some of the people mention stress management, anger management, facility management, all sort of management is there. You know, we are good for the managing many things. Sometimes, most of the time, we fail to manage our own mind. Managing our own mind, see, compared him for the many other religious organizations, the Buddha go into the very, very deeper analysis to look into our own nature of mind.
当我们要看到我们的心的本质的时候，那我们就要回到我们的心，回到我们自己，回到我们自身。我们会看到我们的心其实是一直在跳动的，但是这个跳动它是自然发生的，它是本质就是一直在变化，一直在跳动。然后长老就说，那我们要怎样子去控制我们的心？有时候我们的心会开心，有时候我们遇到逆境的时候我们会伤心，这也是自然。我们要如何的才能回到我们自己的心啊？长老就给一些例子。当我们遇到情况的时候，我们最时下流行的一个词叫做压力。那压力是怎样子产生的？包括有一些不顺心的时候，或者是有一些东西是让我们觉得我们想抗拒的时候，我们就会有压力。那这一些压力就会间接的导致我们会起嗔心，会不开心，会生气。然后我们为了要处理这一些不开心、生气啊，我们人很厉害的，我们就会有产生很多情绪管理学，这个管理学，那个管理学，但是我们没有做到那个管理心的这一块。但是佛陀的教法就很专注的在这方面，很仔细、很微细的去谈这件事情，我们要如何的去管理我们的心。
Today, the world, many things we have to cope up our own self. Many things we have to look into that in the material world. Most of the time, we might think it's a stressful situation or stress consider it's a fashionable things, or if you not mean so busy people or high society, they able to get the pressure, or if you not mean stressful situation. So much work, some of them, even some Buddhist practitioners, they mention, some of the monks mention and nuns mentioning, very stress, so much stress work involved. Then from there we can see it. Are we in the correct religious organization? Are we in the correct religious practices we maintain? If your stress is not fashionable things, stress consider how weak our own self. Of course, it's not that immediately can overcome all those things. It's a slowly gradual development is required. Look into deeper understanding, deeper look into your own mind. People are having stress many ways. One thing's amount of work, amount of disturbance appear into yourself, some certain ways, many things. If you look into the very deeper into that, what the Buddha mentioned, that where the require self-discipline and development your own mind, look into your own self. When the little anger arising, little unhappiness arising in your own mind, if you're able to look into that, there is unpleasant thought appearing. That where our wisdom may have to develop. should not allow that the anger or thought, defilement thought, to overrule in our own mind. As long as in control within our own self, then going to be, you can't do is overnight. There's no such a thing is like a Eastern coffee or tea, just take it and can overcome. It's a regular practices required. That's the difference for the knowledge and the wisdom. That I'll explain to you later.
在我们的日常生活里面，我们很多东西需要去照顾，然后这个日常的一些作息呀什么这样，然后因为太多事情做，所以我们就觉得压力，觉得好像被占据了很多的时间，甚至没有时间去修行。然后长老就是好像开玩笑的讲了一句，就是说一些居士僧人都会表示说很压力啊这种生活，但是这样子的话，我们是不是有走错了？因为佛教讲的就是我们要回到，然后就是这样的打趣的讲了一句，在佛陀时代，佛陀有说到说，我们需要有自律的，常常回到我们的心去观察我们的心。当我们看到情绪的波动，当我们发现到我们要生气的时候，我们需要在通过长时期的一些练习之后，我们看到情绪的升起，看到我们要生气的时候，当那一个看到的时候，我们就是正在智慧正在增长了。那智慧怎样子增长呢？长老会再继续讲下去。
The teaching of the Buddha or practice of the Buddha, not the collecting data and keep in the mind. There's a lot of scholars we can find, well, there's a lot of knowledgeable people in this world as well. The various subjects. Just look into any of this particular subject, holding the doctorate, holding the other high degree, we can find so many. The Buddhist teaching or Buddha's teaching, there is a philosophers, there's a Buddhist professors, and the Buddhist scholars, Buddhist teachers, are there many. But among that, Buddhist practitioners is not sometimes hardly can get it. There is, if you have the knowledge, if you knowledge put into the day-to-day practice, then it becomes more meaningful what you learn putting into the practice. Without practicing, there's no way for us to get the great wisdom of the teaching of the Buddha. The wisdom able to develop, wisdom able to get it, not the data collecting or how many sutras, by heart, or how many Pali verses, by heart. That also important. But without day-to-day practice, there's a great wisdom not appear into any one of us. That where we had to look in our own mind.
我们学习到的这些佛法，它不是收集资料，然后就收在脑里面，它是需要我们常常的把它运用在我们的日常里面。我们需要拿来练习，需要拿来修。如果没有拿来修，它就只是一些资料。那需要的时候去找的时候，你就会只找到资料。但是这些资料，你要这样子运用在日常的话，你就需要常常的去修，不然的话，它是到那个点的时候是没有办法用上的，所以就是要修。
Very simple analysis, we can see it. If you have a certain knowledge, computer knowledge or medicine knowledge or engineering knowledge, or any of the knowledge, can see today the amount of degrees offering for the various universities, so many compared to when we are small, young time. Today so much developed certain subject divine to the various ways they're offering the degree, various universities. Even now, understand psychology, so many. From there, we can see it. There's all those categorize your knowledge gathering into your own self. Certain knowledge you can use it in day-to-day, your livelihood, for living certain things to do it. But that particular knowledge you cannot take into the next existence. Being doctor, you cannot go be doctor next life from the beginning itself. Young child, we cannot see any the small kid become a doctor. So by birth is become a doctor. That means whatever that particular subject knowledge going to be remain here, or certain period we can use it, that not forever. That means when the person is departed from this world, what we are taking? We are not taking whatever you learn. Being the doctor, you cannot be next life, be doctor as well. Being an engineer, you cannot be the engineer next life. That means from there we can see it very clearly. Whatever the learn here, knowledge, we are not able to take into the next existence. The knowledge is going to be remain here with the physical body, you know. What we taking alone to the next existence, that's important.
在现在的这个生活里面，我们有各种各样的这些专业的知识，比如说有律师、有医生、有工程师，但是在这些知识，它是没有办法让你带到下一世，或者是这个知识是没有办法让你永远的存在在跟你一起。你今生是医生，你下一世未必是医生；你今生是律师，你下一世未必是律师。因为你不会看到一个小孩子一出世他就是一个医生。那我们要做的就是说，我们要学习一些今生学老，下一世我们还是可以再重新带在我们身上的，而不是像这些专业的知识，它只是跟我们的这个人生，我们的这个身体，这一个人生一结束之后，它就跟着这个人生留在这里。我们需要是可以到下一世的一些知识。
Simple things. Buddhist teaching, the same things. If you go into the learn very much, the deeper understanding the teaching of the Buddha, if you want to target in the past for the either diploma or the degree or the master or the PhD, you can degree holder, like a lot of doctorate holders in Buddhism. We can find various universities, including Oxford and other Cambridge University. Even in India itself, if you go into the India, those who are tour guide, some are university professors. The part-time they do it. But they are not Buddhist practitioners. If their knowledge in the Buddhism so deep, they can quote any of the Sutra Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, Abhidharma Pitaka. But they are just only sharing knowledge, they are teaching knowledge. If you go looking into the getting data or all those the teaching into the holding for the any of the degree, that the same thing like other knowledge as well. The textbooks, you had to put into the day-to-day your own practice. Without practicing, you never ever able to get the wisdom, not able to develop wisdom. Knowledge alone remaining, knowledge going to remain here, we have living with the empty hand. That means from there we are clear why require practice. They're called practitioners. Practitioners, they try to be perfect in their own self. The perfection of the person, that development is the inner mental strength. the mental energy, the cultivation, your own purification, your oneself mind, that will follow you behind where you go, like your own shadow, you'll be able to follow that greatest mental energy, life after life.
佛教的哲学，佛教的这些文学，在到处都可以学得到。它有很多的大学啊，包括在师父就提的一些知名的大学，也包括在印度的大学，都会有很多这些学者，他们熟知这一些佛学的哲学。当你提出一些东西的时候，他们可以很精准的引经据典，跟你说是哪一部经提到这个事情。但是很多时候，他们就只是学者，他们没有真正的把这些知识实践在他们的生活里面。那当你没有真正的去实践在生活里面的时候，这些知识它就只是知识。当知识只是知识的时候，智慧是没有办法升起的。Sorry, Chief Reverend, what was the last sentence about the perfections of oneself?
Yes. Once the person is without practicing, without looking seriously what you learn, what you have in the knowledge, put into the day-to-day practice, is never ever able to get the wisdom into oneself mind. Knowledge not complete the inner or purity in your own mind. Purity coming, inner mental strength coming upon through practice. That mental energy able to follow life after life.
那就是长老就讲到说，如果没有实修的话，知识就只是知识，那智慧也不会升起。智慧如果没有升起的话，我们没有办法就是去净化我们的内心。那这个内心如果没有办法被净化的话，我们是没有办法达到一个更完整的一个我们一个个体。那这个没有办法达到一个更好的一个程度的话，这个新的力量是不会升起的。那这个新的力量是我们想要升起，给它升起之后带到下一辈子的下一世的一个目标。
Let's
finish.
It's a very simple thing for you to see very clearly to understand how the mind is work. Assuming each and every one of us, let's say, same family, same mother, same father, having the 3 children. 3 children, if the mother and the father, or either mother or father, they should follow exactly how the mother thinks or how the father thinks. Or if you normally have both certain qualities in the children's mind as well. Most of the time we find there's not in that way. If you have 2 or 3 children, different mental states. One person can be perfectly obedient, religious. Another person cannot. It won't be that way. If you happen to be the same mother and same father, it should be. It's a certain way of mothers doing things or father doing things. The father or the mother, no responsible. They're responsible. Their physical structure, the architecture, they are responsible. The similar look, the similar pace, even the twins itself. You have the same timing birth given by the, let's say, if you penance system, we call it the 9 penance, and the penance system, those who are astrologists, they say, okay, this, given by this particular moment, this particular timing, this character must be like this, like that. Yes, there is. But From there, we can see the same date of birth and same time in birth, the birth taken place, different mental stage. The reason very simple, but the Buddha say, we not to realize the need. There's a very clear understanding, be able to understand for that one, how the nature of the mind coming not through from the father or for the mother. The mind's already coming from the previous life. They say when he expecting mother, they able to find little dot in their womb, the pregnancy when it taken place in that way. That means very clear, mind energy comes first. Mind energy coming on the previous life habit as well. Whatever development, whatever cultivation in your previous life, the same bringing into this life, from there able to continue. Very scientific, what the Buddha mentioned, today scientists able to realize, until today not able to get the clear answer this particular part. Whatever mental habit we having, our previous life, bring into this keep on going on. They say mind is not responsible any of the mother or father, mind their own. Then from there to develop or without developing, and also anyone of them not able to either the plus or minus, whether we able to achieve certain stages or not, depend on the individually character, how much effort you put into your own practices, how much effort you're going to look into your own to purify. That depend on the individual people as well. No one else able to either change totally in their mindset, Still some of the people, we can see it very clearly. If the one particular group of people, when you're giving the certain things, some of the people immediately can absorb, immediately can understand. They very fast, they can able to some certain progress in their religious practices or their spiritual practices. Some are a bit longer. Reason, whatever we are previous life, the things, the habit help you, that mental energy help you become somewhat super intelligent. Some are not, because whatever development the previous life you bring into this, then from their progress. Doesn't mean if you work hard, we can able to achieve another. Little hard work, we can able to achieve. That's what Buddha mentioned very clearly. Little practice make you better person, better human being. That is a develop further and further, highest achievement we able to get it through practices.
Chief Reverend, when you were mentioning about mental energy, does it relating back to wisdom?
Yes.
So can I translate it as wisdom? Okay. 大长老就有讲到说，就是在比如我们在我们的家里面，同样是兄弟姐妹，甚至可能是双胞胎还是三胞胎，每个人都有，就是可能的话，那个外表是可能是一样的，那我们就会觉得说，父母生出来的外表是一样，但是很长时候我们看到外表就算是在一样，性格也可能是完全不一样的。就算他是双胞胎还是三胞胎都好，他可能他的性格还是会完全不一样。那佛陀就有说，这个我们的心，每一个人的这个心，不是遗传于父母，而是从我们的上一世带过来的。那这个人跟人之间的差别不一样， 科学至今都还没办法去解释。就比如说在学习的时候，有一些人可以很快的，比如说对数学，他看到他就可以懂，很快可以马上学习到这个长老就讲说，这个是一个新的能量，就是我们的心our heart， 我让你心，我的一个心，那个心，那个是新的能量的差别。那后来我就有跟长老澄清就是请求了解的话，那也可以讲说是我们的智慧的一个差别。那就在修行上也是一样，有一些人达到什么程度都是看个人，包括个人的自律、个人的修行，这个也是没有办法，别人没有办法帮到你的，所以都是看个人。
See, most of the time we able to find so much difficulty, so much, the what called the difficulty to find certain ways of the answers when unclear, or if it not means the very simple things. If you're going to look into your own mind, yourself, how are you going to look into your own mind? Totally have to be very peaceful situation ourselves. When the mind is so many things, we're not able to see clear picture. In order to see the clarity in our own self, had to be so much, of course, is the cultivation or longer period practice required. Even though today, many of us, maybe sometime, most of the time, we can see it in advertisement, in other promotion. You say, my Sipu, or my master, or my religion, they're able to get so many things in these things. It's not that simple and easy things as well. Or if it not means just coming into my faith, you can get the Eastern enlightenment or East pastors' way to achievement. So many things are today, we can see it. Without practicing ourselves, without looking into the very serious thing, whatever we think learn here, without practicing anyone, there's no way, there's no shortcut, there's no Eastern enlightenment, there's no Eastern way to achieve anything without practicing our day-to-day life. That means from there we can see it very clearly. The Buddhist practice, the Buddhist teaching or the Buddha's teaching, we had to seriously have to practice in order to get the greatest wisdom. That wisdom require the further next assistance, next rebirth, depend in that development of our own mind.
长老就有提到，那我们要这样子的去回到我们的心，如何去观察我们的心？那我们需要一个平静的情况之下，才能回到我们的心吗？这个如何能够在需要的时候时刻回到我们的心？它其实需要一段长时间的练习，它是需要去培养。那很多时候我们常常会在网上或者是在哪里听到马上即刻可以达到什么东西，马上即刻，可能甚至有的时候马上即刻让你证悟，但是在佛陀的教法里面是没有所谓的马上就可以达到一个事情的，没有通过一定的努力，你是没有办法马上就到另一个程度。所以长老是在强调说，我们需要持续性的去修，持续性的去练习。
Okay, I think what you have to do it, is it okay we have I think more time for the question and answers, and is there any other certain things to maybe you want to ask? Then as we give the more time in question and answers and more to the, any comment, certain things, to how you look into that, it's a more, it'll become a little bit more live. Any question to ask?
We'll be doing the question now.
Okay, I think give a little bit more time for questions.
Okay,
Yes.
长老就是说，在我们就是继续下去之前，长老就是开放一个提问的时间，就是在这个刚才长老讲到的东西，如果有什么要提问的话，现在可以提问。
And what kind of the things that can help us to build the wisdom and to help us to calm down easily, to practice along the day, to make it easy to put down.
Very particular. The easiest way to calm yourself, when the present unpleasant thought appear into yourself, let's say anger is present or unpleasant, it'll disturb you as well. Even though people sometimes used to say, I given the peace of mind. That means you scold somebody, is it? Yeah. Is it giving peace of mind, or you invite more trouble into your own self? The statement people mention, I give him peace of mind. That means whatever things I want to just tell him, very badly, that means scolding. Am I right? Is it? Yeah. That means you're not giving peace of mind. Let's say, if you say certain thing to the particular person, when the person he might say, let's say, if I scold someone, he said, okay, the monk is mad, let him to scold whatever thing, I don't bother, I have my own practice. It should not affect yourself. That's the very important thing. Most of the time, we are having the failure in our own self to judge our own mind. You see, someone come forward in front of you, then you say, you're so pretty lady, I never seen such a pretty, such a kindness, such a compassionate, it's so wonderful person. Are you happy? You're happy, isn't it? It's another couple of hours later, or maybe 1 hour later, another person come in front of you. You are a terrible lady. I never seen such a cruel, ugly the person. How you feel it? You feel bad. You feel anger. If in both situation, if we able to hold it, and without getting much the emotional, the control in our own self, we are the winner of that. When someone comment certain negative thing, anger arising. When the anger arising, you're able to see anger is coming. Is it allow anger to keep on going on, then who is going to be suffer? We're going to suffer our own self. Let's say if you are scold somebody, the person is might think, oh, there's nothing, just ignore it. When each time you see that particular person with that angry word you mentioned, actually maybe that person is a wise person. You think, oh, let him to, he's a mad person. Let him to scold. I'm not that person. He might, in own judgment, because he's confident enough, he's not that bad person, or he's not able to influence that is negative comment. When the person is mentioning such a things, each time we see, If you are not careful, your anger arising, your unhappiness arising, that means we are going to more suffer. Then the important things, very much important, seriously had the certain anger, the thought appear into your mind, you look in your own self, able to overcome, unpleasant thought or overcome. Sometimes it's an environment, very important thing. The nature, very important thing to calm ourselves, When the most of the time, when we having the little anger arising in our own self, or certain the ways disturbance into your own self, we try to isolate more time. We try to be away from the reality. If that way also not supporting you, but you have to face it with understanding, with the correct practice. And that moment, if we able to achieve certain achievement within ours, is a testing ground. Let's say if the both statement, someone comment negative and positive thing, we able to balance it our own self, then we are the winner of that. It's not easy, but can achieve. Not easy, but can achieve. It require regular practice. That's why the teaching of Buddha, if you give a very simple example, if you make a beautiful dinner table or lunch table, if you go around the table, we're never able to fulfill the hunger until you sit and consume or you take your food, then you're able to hunger. Same thing, Buddha's teaching, not only worshipping or praying, go around or the thing or ceremonial things. We had to put into the day-to-day practices.
刚刚这位师姐提的问题，就是说在日常生活里面，当我们遇到问题的时候，可能我们生气的时候，我们要如何的回到我们的心，去培养我们的智慧。那大长老就有说，很长时候我们会听到人家对我们讲好的话，我们觉得很开心；当人家对我们讲一些我们不想要听的东西的时候，我们就会觉得生气，我们的内心的平静就会被破坏掉。然后当我们的我们没有办法去控制我们的本心的时候，我们就会有嗔心升起，我们就会生气。那当我们生气的时候，其实它就会渐渐的，我们就会渐渐的被这个生气、这个嗔心带我们偏离了那个现实，就是跌进去自己的 drama， 跌进去自己的内心的那个故事里面，就开始离那个。那长老就讲说，我们需要去学习去看到我们的内心。那通过看到我们内心，我们就会学习到如何去平衡那些我们喜欢听的，还有我们不喜欢听的那些话语。当我们能够平衡那些情绪的时候，我们就会有智慧的升起。佛法的教法就好像在晚餐的桌子一样，当我们持续的在那个桌子旁边绕来绕去的话，我们是没有办法止饿的，我们还是会继续肚子饿的，直到我们真正的坐下来开始吃饭的时候，我们才会觉得饱，才会处理掉我们的饥饿感。那所以长老就是鼓励我们，除了学习佛法，我们还要运用更多的，我们需要长时间的去练习。这样子的话，我们才会能够解决我们的所谓的饥饿，我们才会有智慧的升起。
Today mornings, anybody want to ask anything? Today somebody asked me, when someone near to, and I mean for some of the family members, when they physically as well as for the mentally when they're down, especially for the physically. What as a Buddhist we should do it? What we should do it? What's the Buddhist approach?
长老就讲说他遇到一个这样子的一个问题，所以他就把这个问题交回给我们。那问题是这样子的：当我们身为一个佛教徒，我们看到我们的身旁的人，可能情绪有点低落啊，或者是伤心的时候，我们身为一个佛教徒，我们可以用什么方法来处理
Especially someone near to you, let's say, assuming the hospitalized.
特别是在我们身体上的一些虚弱，或者是可能比较属于生病的时候，或者是他已经在住院了。
They mention, you see, some certain faith got a lot of things to do with, just, prayers, many things you can do it. What the Buddhists can do it? Actually, Yes. Actually, most of the time, when family member is hospitalized, rest of the people, they can do a lot of things. The things what we are going to do it's going to be great impact for the patient, the person is in that situation. When they admit the person in the hospitalized, the hospital is the place, all sort of disturbance, am I right? The neighbor patient screaming the pain. Other side of the side, there's another situation, difficult breathing. Another area, someone here, the person is just pass away. That type of feeling, the fear, some of people are screaming with the pain, some of the people having that of all sort of various way of the experience in that environment, that place. Am I right? Many of the fear is occupied until the person is having such a way, we don't know whether what's going to happen to me, this type of things are heavy. And the little pain, the increasing as well. What do we do? When the people go and visit the patient, what do you do it? When they enter the rooms or enter the ward, see the person, what I do it, if he happen to be let's say, he can't talk because the tube, everything is there, but his mind is still alert. When you appear relatives or friends into the ward, it's automatically you feel sorry for the person. The sorry is also okay. What is the worst thing you do? Most of the people doing, the tears able to fall down. You can't take it, that emotional feel the person in such a way. Are you going to help him, the person, that way? You're not helping. What will happen? You are planting more negative thought in their person's mind. That means it's already he's having fear. When your tears drop, that you're giving so much negative messages. What you should do it, that the moment require little encouragement from yourself, little personal touch from the loved one. What you can do it. Of course, medical team, they are doing things. As a visitor, you have to approach to him with the wonderful, nice smiling. That means you're confident, you're giving so much joy to the person. When you are smiling his own self, when your tears is come out from yourself, that means automatically person, the pain going to be increased. When you smile, smiling back. When you touch, personal touch, you say, brother or sister or father or mother or daddy, you are perfectly okay. We just come with the blessing. We're going to conduct some certain blessing. We're going to asking for the giving the metta, as what you say, metta. These are the powerful, those, that moment we can plan very strongly is in mind. He'll work, definitely he's going to work. He work, build up confidence. That is sometimes the person is screaming the pain. Such a kind word we mention, automatically the tears, the crying part is no more. See, the mind over matter is very important things. Planting some positive mental thought in the moment, that person mind, very important things. There's another, that what I can do it. Little, if let's say, if you're not in the hospital, being at home in the ICU, you can't visit, but in silent manner, rather than you have the fear your own mind, rather than you have the so much worry in your own self, the worry doesn't going to help. Fear not going to help for anyone. Fear not going to help you. Worry not going to help you, as well as not going to help the patient. What you had to do it, in order to help yourself and help the patient, you develop such a good thought within your own mind, positive mental energy on self, the great metta, loving kindness in your own heart, the greatest powerful mental strength, mental energy. We can train it very strongly. That moment you are being alone, that type of fearful situation, help you to be build up so much the good feeling, good emotional feeling your own self, and the greatest contribution to the patient going through that difficult the situation. That's important. The tears not going to help, worry not going to help, the smile going to help you, and good thought going to help the patient as well as for your own self. Many things what the Buddha mentioned. The radiating metta, loving kindness, is the greatest contribution to your own self as well as for the others.
刚刚长老提出的那个例子，就是说，当我们的身旁人可能就是生病了，那他住院，我们身为一个佛教徒，我们可以做什么事情？那其实我们有很多东西可以做。有一些人就会说，我们可以祈福；有些人说我们可以祝福，然后我们还有很多的就会我们会停留在我们会担心，我们会害怕。那站在一个病人的角度的话，他住在医院，医院里面会有很多的干扰，可能旁边的人在喊，也可能他会看到一些其他人往生，可能会看到一些人在痛。这样子的形形色色的一些干扰，就会让他觉得他害怕。那这些害怕，会让他更加的挣扎在那个情况里面，他会更加的不舒服。所以，当我们身为他的身旁人，我们去到的时候，我们可以做什么？可能遇到的情况是我们去到的时候，他已经插满了管子，他没有办法讲话，他没有办法动。那当下我们看到的时候，我们会觉得很伤心，我们忍不住，我们就会流泪。但是这些是我们的情绪，它是没有办法帮助到那个病人的。那我们需要做的是什么呢？我们要给他信心，我们要给他鼓励。最好的就是我们可以有一个很强烈、很阳光的笑容进去，给他信心。那医疗团队会做那个治疗性的那些步骤。那我们能够做的就是说，我们可能可以跟那个 那个当事人，我们可以跟当事人一起做一个祝福。比如说刚才我们有一位师姐就是说，我们可以就是散播慈爱，可以散播给自己，也可以散播给他人，就是跟这个当事人一起去做这个散播慈爱的功能这个功课。那因为恐惧它是没有办法去帮到对方，也没有办法帮到我们自己，所以我们就需要建立一个很强的内心的力量。当我们有一个很强的内心力量，比如说我们有一个很强的慈心，我们就可以帮到那个病人。OK， 当我们有一个很强的这个心的力量的时候，一个很强的内心的力量的时候，我们可以去通过我们的这些肢体动作，我们会让这个病人觉得比较放心，我们让他觉得有信心。就是当我们能够建立起那个信心的时候，当我们可以让他建立起那个信心的时候，在对抗于那个在康复的那个路上，就会走得比较顺利。那至少他们不会很容易的跌入那个情绪的那个负面的情绪。那在没有负面的情绪干扰的情况之下，病人就会有更好的康复率，可以更好的康复，也不会一直困在那个情绪里面走不出来。那当我们能够帮到那个病人在内心上有一个转变的时候，我们自己的内心也是在往好的一个方面正在转变，大概是这样。
Okay, any other things?
So, one thing, as lay Buddhists, we spend most of the time outside of the temple, outside of meditation or practice. So, I think that our daily life is the time where we practice the most with the situation we face. So, what state of mind would one day think is the best for us to be, no matter good or bad situation we face in our daily life?
You mean that's the important things, Buddhist practice, not in the Buddhist center or not in the meditation hall, not in the chanting class or the Buddhist class. The teaching of the Buddha that's why Buddha mentioned Buddhist practitioners or the so-called meditation is not only the certain period, it's a 24 hours things that called be sati mindfulness. While you're doing your work, while you are working in the office, as long as maintain sati mindfulness, you're never ever able to get the go wrong. While you are driving, if you fully concentration for driving, you're never going to be mistake as well. While you are working, you fully concentration is that ilgan. But of course, obstacle there, negative comment is going to be there. This each and every negative comment, if he able to get the clear understanding your own self, what you are doing, with the what called understanding your listen comment, says fine. Sometimes with certain things what you have to do, rather than immediately react into that what other people say. If you look into that what person said, is there something for you to learn, something for you to improve? If they can improve it, and at the same time, sometimes they give the wonderful teachers in our life. Those who are people comment negative things, those who are people having certain ways in the outside of the Buddhist center. You can't expect every single human being to be perfect, kind, compassionate, loving kindness. The thought going to maintain outside, all sort of people around here, all sort of, the comment going to be there. What had to do it? We had to make our sati very strongly, mindfulness very strongly. That way we can help us in day-to-day our life, That outside the world, outside the places, the Buddhist practitioners had to more put into our own self, That is the greatest challenges we're going to face it, rather than having. That's your difference. That's your the achievement. That's your cultivation. Nothing else. Yes.
刚刚这位师兄提到的是，就是在我们日常生活里面，那除了我们在道场，就是我们可能在其他的活动、上班啊，还是其他情况的时候，我们的心的状态要保持在一个怎样的一个状态？那大长老就说，我们的心应该保持在正念，萨蒂是正念。那正念它是24小时的一个事情。在我们做每一个事情的时候，每一件活动，我们都保持着我们的心的正念，一直回到这个正念，那我们就不会出错。比如说我们开车保持正念的开车的话，我们就不会遇到意外。这些日常生活它常常会给我们很多的挑战，所以我们需要常常的去练习这个正念，才会让我们的这个念力变强，然后进而帮助到我们日常生活。就是这样子。
I remember one girl, Indian girl, very young Indian girl, like already like the mind very disturbed, and at night would cry because I distribute the food to on the street. And then when I saw her, it's like the mentality problem. And then she is crying all the time. And my heart will feel also same want to cry together. So how like to us as a Buddhist, how we can like pray or can have back for our confidence, also can do something else for her in this kind of like conditions. Because after I went back, I also can feel how the painful maybe the karma of that. So some master said the wisdom or the karma that we bring from our previous life to here, but we can't do much. But what we can do?
The person you know you? Or?
I don't know. It's like a stranger on the street, but a very young little girl. I believe maybe she experienced some heavy matter that really make her like crazy or very fertility problem.
Yeah.
And when I approach her, also feel the pain, feel the like some kind of heart, the mind energy very very low, and then I also can feel want to cry together. So I also don't know that time how I can bring back myself. So all the time I still thinking what kind of thing.
Yes, sometimes the situation, of course, your kindness, your compassion is, you may be approached, you want to help, your intention, such a way, it's a good. But crying together, not going to help. At least if you're able to, if you know her, it's much easier. If you're unknown, quite difficult also. Sometimes your kindness, you go and try to help, just personal touch, sister, is there any way to help? Can. But sometimes it can be so much with the anger this person is having. Is anybody approach also the person like maybe shout it back, it's going to be worse situation. Unless that moment had to sympathy on her, your compassion on her, even though you shouted, just say, okay, sister, you calm down, that type of way you can move, is okay. Otherwise, if we shout at you some other thing, because the reason so much hatred, so much anger, the person mind, it can be very nasty. That you have to expect that way as well. You should not get emotionally your own self affected, negative, whatever things. If he had shouted back to you, because the anger is there, the disappointment is there, is anybody, unless some other people, they depend on the situation. The person is, another person coming asking for the, what is it? This is going to be very happy. He can solve the problem. Maybe can listen to her for a moment. It can find, of course, a great help. But without knowing also quite difficult sometimes certain occasion. Yeah, that part only we can do it. Just keep on it being the far places. May you be well and happy. Maybe that type of good thought you can radiate to her. In order to radiate her, you're emotionally getting so much the what called the emotional feeling, the crying part. That means your mind is not peaceful and settle yourself. Because the emotionally affected your feeling as well. In order to be yourself, be more, say, whatever my practices may going to help her to overcome that miserable situation on mind. We may keep on radiating your metta. That's another way to, release his pain.
刚刚这位师姐就有讲到说，她可能遇到一些情况，那在那个情况的时候，她遇到的一个小妹妹，可能就是有一些情绪上的问题，然后她不知道该如何是好。然后长老就说，当我们可能对于那个人是没有太大的熟悉的时候，可能我们没有办法做到太多的事情。那我们可以做的就是可能给一些比较简单、比较基础的关心。但是因为我们是个不熟悉的人的时候，可能他们就会有一些情绪，然后我们需要就是有这个认知，说他可能会有他的情绪会要发泄。那在他的情绪升起的时候，我们要做的就是我们尽量不让我们的情绪被他带动，不要让他破坏到我们内心那个平静。那我们可以做的还有什么呢？那我们可以升起我们的心中的善念，然后祝福他，愿我们这个祝福可以让他脱离他的痛苦，愿他无敌意，愿他无危险，愿他无精神的痛苦，愿他无身体的痛苦，愿他保持快乐，也就是长老说的 metta， 就是慈心的祝福。就是这样。
Okay. Any other questions?
Sometimes I will find the mental strength is very weak, and the thoughts will automatically go into the negative side, and then I will be angry towards myself, and then will isolate myself also. And then if I practice metta that time, I will feel pity about myself. I will feel pity. Why I like that, or why I like that? Why I will meet this situation like that? Then a part of metta, any practice that I can do that time when the mental strength is very weak.
Normally it's like that. When we depend on the certain situation, am I right? The people comment certain things or any particular things.
Most of the time is comment.
Yeah, that's the thing. We can't, as I mentioned earlier, this world, jealousy is a main problem sometimes. If you work hard, also some people don't like it because they are not work hard. Then you work hard, You work less, also some people won't like it. The situation such a way. The important things, rather than, if you having the disappointment your own self, is angry your own self, why I'm in this situation? There's no answer for it. You never ever able to get the answer. Why? This is the people comment, people look into that way. Rather than finding the why answer, if you had to look into your own self, why the person says this particular comment, am I that type of person? As long as answer come, I'm not that, I'm not the terrible person. I'm not that particular bad the character what the people comment. If you build up your own confidence in your own self, you should not angry within yourself. Sometimes most of the planet, we, certain ways, even this, especially for the immediate family members, certain things, the parents say certain things, we can't take it because my own mother, my own father say such a thing, my own brother or sister say something. And this type of thing, sometimes even within family, we never able to realize brothers and sisters, sometimes the parents are not, we build up certain negative thought, our own mind when we are young time as well. Always we feel it, oh, my mother favor my brother or my sister than me. That our thought, actually there's nothing. But when that type of thought appear when we are young kids, automatically day by day is the increasing that, the thing, because you feel it that way. Actually there's nothing. But if you're not short out that with the relevant people, you keep on your own subconscious mind, it'll most of the time disturb. It's an accumulation of, negative thought within our own self. In order to best thing to do it, angry within yourself. That's the most of some people mentioning. Even the very good example. People commit suicide. Reason what? They can't cope up. They can't get the solution. They're not able to get the answers. Then accumulating anger and all those disappointment within yourself. You and me is not that free from that situation as well. That's why Buddha mentioned sati is very important, mindfulness very important, awareness very important, our own self. Analyzing your own self, any of the things very important in day-to-day our life, It's not that the easy way to, when we angry within our own self, also bad. We're not really angry with another person, we're angry our own self, also it's bad. Accumulating of the anger is within our own self can develop very painful situation, very stressful situation, have to overcome, It's not difficult because the right practice, right understanding is very much important. And maybe it'll take a little bit time, when the anger is arising, don't try to be in the answer anything. Just being silent or breathing your own breathing, that's the best thing. If your best place, if you have the altar or the statue or the calm, peaceful place or the nature, if you open the window, see the green, beautiful green, a lot of answers we can get it. Just your own breathing, a lot of answers can get it as well. Being silent at that moment, without answering, without uttering any single word. When anger is there, whatever words come out, later part, in order to take back, it's no way to take back. Already other person badly affected, You mean that way, but the word come out with that angry mind, it's very difficult to, reply back. It's that moment, silent is the best thing to do it. Keeping quiet is the best thing to do it. And very quiet way, we can get a lot of answers. Okay, any other things?
刚刚这个问题是说，很多时候，当我们觉得我们内心很脆弱的时候，我们不够力量去支撑，我就会用祝福来祝福自己。但是在这种时候，他可能就觉得他会更加的自卑，会觉得很可怜自己。那就有问长老有什么方法可以去做，或者是有什么法门可以去修吗？长老就给了一些例子，然后就回到长老就说，最重要的还是觉知， 还是正念？对于我们自己的一个理解，自己的一个正念，回到我们的心，通过正确的修行方式，通过正见，通过正确的见解的去修行，我们就可以有足够的觉知在我们自己。那当下，当我们觉得很不舒服的时候，特别是我们生气的时候，我们很容易就会做错一些事动，去犯下一些错误。那所以最好的方法就是当下我们可以就需要找到平静。平静的方法它可能是因人而异的，你可以是去到大自然，你也可以就是保持安静。当我们能够让我们的心回到平静的时候，我们就会找到我们想要的答案。那这个答案它会自己出来，我们不需要去猜。所以最好的方法就是把我们的心安于平静，把我们的心安于正念。Chief Reverend, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, my question is, when we are in an anger, we know that the emotion is coming. We felt the body is reacting. The tense is in the chest. We felt the agitation, the breath is rapidly coming in and out. And we felt that there are energy coming in and out and body gets hot. But if we keep on just endure on the condition, it just go way worse sometimes, and we will tend to get into our drama, more and more dramas. So in short, when we are happening to be in this anger, when we saw the anger comes, what is the best thing that we do? Instead of, we were going to be in silence, but what next?
Actually, if you know yourself is anger rising, that's a great achievement, Knowing things. Sometimes we won't, the anger is so strong, we never able to realize. As long as if you know there is an anger rising, that's a moment for you to reflect. Anger is not the good things. That's where the silence require without reaction taking any place. Karma happening, thinking alone without putting in the action, it doesn't affect badly. It doesn't cause fully. Thought itself, yes, but thought it had to put in the action is more bad, Let's say, if you realize anger is arising, are you going to, to hold it, moment of that, being the silent, being the uttering without putting into the action, that's important. Knowing yourself, the anger there, that's the greatest achievement as well. You know what this anger is arising, what next step we had to do it, That's a moment you had to work your very closely, your own mind, not to react for anything, not to do any other things, being peaceful without uttering single things.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay.
In this kind of, back to the same questions, actually in this kind of scenario, is it possible that because we sometimes we hard to like step back, keep silent, and is it possible you practice mindfulness also?
Sometimes you keep quiet, also other person, some more get angry. How come this person not answering back? That means no respect and then, if you have a little smile, brother, not in that way, even the anger is there, if you can return a smile, sometimes people can angry also as well. How come this? So sometimes very badly affect that person. You see, I so harsh word used, but in return, this person can say, sometimes we reflect in ourselves, we be shame, the person, such a unkind word they mention, That's the important things, Whatever things, when the angry there, when the anger is your own mind, replying, answering things definitely won't be, unless you perfectly think the right, correct, refined word. That moment is a refined, kind word won't come out. Not easy. But if we can able to achieve, that's the greatest achievement. Yes. Okay.
Just translate back the question. Yeah, 我刚才问的问题就是说，当我们生气的时候，很多时候我们生气，我们知道我们在生气，那个呼吸在急促，身体在发热，然后心跳在加快，然后觉得胸口很闷、很紧，很想生气的时候，我们该怎么做？那长老就说，当你能够发现你的情绪在增强，你要开始生气的时候，那个发现是一个最重要的发现，那个是最重要的一个事情。那我的问发现了，那第二步是怎么做？那长老就说，当你发现到你要生气的时候，你已经发现了，那是第一步，很好的第一步。那第二步就是要守住我们的心，不要让它被破坏，不要跟着那个情绪一起被波动，不要觉得生气了，觉得生气要来了，不要跟着他一起去互动，不要跟着他一起生气，就保持着我们的心，保持着那个正念，维持在那个平静。就是这样。
Okay. I was telling something. Is any, yeah? Okay. Able to, is it? Yeah. Conclude sharing merits, huh? Yes.
如果没有问题的话，我们就会回向功德。We would like to invite Chief Reverend in leading us in the merit sharing.
Let us share the merits with the devas and also the departed ones and also other sentient beings. Whatever merits we accumulated in this evening, gathering all of you here to maintain strong mindfulness concentration, develop inner quality within your own self towards the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Such practices in our own self, may these merits share with all the deities, protection devas in this center, each and every one of you as well. At the same time, all the other sentient beings and departed one as well. Follow the recite this particular Pali verses. Repeat after me. Ittavata
cha
ammehi
sampatang
punya sampadang sabbe deva sabbe bhuta sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idammi Nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idammi nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idammi nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo sadhu Abhivadana silis niccang vaddha pacayino cattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti Sagga sampatti mevaca ato nibbana sampatti iminati samijjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Chief Reverend, for the Dhamma sharing tonight. We would pay respect to Chief Reverend. 我们现在顶礼长老三拜。Anjali Wanta Abhivandana. Anjali Wanta Abhivandana. Anjali Wanda Abhivandana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.